Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please ping me, and or you can just leave in the comment section thumbs up. Okay, I think I got a go ahead, so I'll start now. So hello there ladies, it's a wonderful afternoon. So I'm Dr. Juita Rastina, dermatologist, cosmetologist and trichologist from Bangalore. So here today I am to discuss about an important topic which is important for all of us, especially for us ladies, because we love our hair. So this is we are going to talk about hair fall. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about causes of hair fall and various tips to take care of our hair at home. Okay, so now when we lose hair, we usually start worrying or panicking that is it going to be temporary or is it going to be there for long term, and should I self-medicate or should I visit a dermatologist, and or something is deficient in my nutrition. So all these type of questions constantly run through our mind when we have hair fall. So don't worry ladies, I'm here to help you out and answer all your queries about hair fall. Okay, now let us start with this. So first of all, I want to tell you that each hair arises from a hair follicle or hair root. Okay, and one hair root can give rise to one or more hair strands. Okay, so this is just for information. So now what is excessive hair fall? Okay, excessive hair fall is when we have more than 100 or 150 hair strands. We lose more than 100 to 150 hair strands per day. That is called excessive hair fall. Or when new hair doesn't arise from the hair root where hair had fallen. So if in these two criteria when it happens, then we say that we have excessive hair fall. Okay. Now there are various causes of hair fall. So let us talk about three important patterns of hair fall that we dermatologists see in our practice, and each pattern has its own causes. So let us analyze those causes and see what is the cause of what are the various causes of hair fall and how we can tackle them. So first important pattern of hair fall that we see is called as female pattern alopecia or female pattern baldness. Second pattern I'm going to discuss about is called as diffuse alopecia. Okay, and third pattern is alopecia areata. Okay, so let us first start with female pattern alopecia. So female pattern alopecia is a condition where we start losing hair from the front, this part, frontal aspect or the crown area. This is called the crown area. Okay, so if you see from the top, our scalp, this is the front, this is the back, then here, this is the place where we start losing hair. Okay, this is called as female pattern alopecia. So there are two important causes of female pattern alopecia. That is, one is hereditary factor. That is, in the family, if there is female pattern alopecia, then we can also have the same. Okay. Second important cause is hormonal imbalance. Okay. So hormonal imbalance can be two types. One is minor hormonal imbalance and major hormonal causes. So minor hormonal imbalance is every month hormonal changes happen in us females. So that itself can slowly and constantly cause hair loss, and eventually we see that there is hair thinning. Okay, so that is minor hormonal causes. Major hormonal causes means actually there are 8 or more hormones, around 8 hormones, which can cause hair fall, by the way. So when you visit your dermatologist will ask you to do these 8 hormones. It's also called as hormonal profile. These are blood tests to evaluate which particular hormone is abnormal, and the treatment for that hormone has to be done to get the hair back. Also with this hormonal test, ultrasound of the abdomen is done to rule out a condition called as polycystic ovarian syndrome, okay, polycystic ovarian disease or PCOS. So this is a very important cause for hair fall. So in which around ovaries small cysts are formed like this, which can cause hormonal imbalance that can cause female pattern alopecia, okay. So when you visit your dermatologist will evaluate which hormone, one or more, are causing hair fall, and that treatment has to be done, okay. So this is about female pattern alopecia, where the hair loss is from the frontal aspect or the crown area, this part, okay. Now the second pattern of hair loss that we commonly see is called as diffuse alopecia, okay. Diffuse alopecia, where the hair fall is from here to here, that is front to back, same amount of hair loss happens, okay. So it is like this. This is from the top, if you see, front and back, so same amount of hair loss happens. The causes of diffuse alopecia, I categorize them into internal, inside the body causes, and external, outside the body causes. So internal causes and external causes, okay. So internal causes are if there are any deficiencies like vitamin B12 deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, protein deficiency. So these are the usual deficiencies, okay. Also sometimes if our body is undergoing any acute stress, or body is undergoing any acute change like during pregnancy, during lactation, so that hair loss that happens that time is also called as telogen effluent. So fortunately, one good thing about telogen effluent is it lasts for around 6 months, and after that the hair fall stops. That is one good thing about it. Also in internal causes, other things are if we have undergone an acute illness or emotional trauma, that can also cause diffuse alopecia, okay. Now what are the external causes? External causes are like the shampoo that you are using doesn't suit your hair or scalp. If the water you are using to have bath is hard water, or pollution, sun damage, if you are using hair treatments like hair smoothing, hair straightening, coloring, so all these can cause hair fall, okay. Also among external factors, 2 important factors are there, that is nutrition and stress, okay. So nutrition wise, again, if your food is less in protein, antioxidants, that itself can cause hair loss. And stress wise, remember ladies, stress can cause diffuse alopecia as well as female pattern alopecia. So reducing stress levels is very important to control hair fall, okay. So these are all the internal and external causes, at least majority of them I have discussed, which can cause diffuse alopecia, okay. That is front to back, same amount of hair fall, okay. Now when you go to a dermatologist, they will evaluate again what are the causes in your case, and what are the things you need to do at home, and what medication needs to be done, that will be told to you, okay. Now point number 3, that is third pattern of hair fall that we usually see, is called as alopecia areata, where we can see bald patches, okay. So bald patches on the scalp. So this is basically an autoimmune condition. Autoimmune means our own immunity attacks our own hair roots in such a way, hair root is attacked in such a way that your hair root is perfectly fine, there is no problem with your hair root, but it is not able to produce hair because it is constantly being attacked by your own immune system. So this condition is called alopecia areata. There can be patchy hair loss on the scalp, or there can be loss of eyebrows or loss of hair in other body parts also, okay. So when you visit your dermatologist, he or she will tell you, depending on the severity of alopecia areata, which treatment you can go for. Unfortunately, it's not a curable condition, but definitely it's a treatable condition. So we have to look into the severity and opt for the treatment. Okay. Okay. So now I've discussed all the three patterns of hair fall, major patterns of hair fall. Now let me tell you about a few tips which we can use at home so that we can have healthy hair. Okay. Okay. Now point number 1 is try to use mild shampoo, that is usually SLS free shampoo. Okay. So SLS free means sodium lauryl sulfate free shampoo. Now why do we need to use a mild shampoo? Because when we use less detergent, that is when the shampoo is SLS free, it has less detergent action. So it is not harsh on your hair and your scalp. Okay, it won't strip away the natural oils from your hair. So it's better to use SLS free shampoo. SLS free shampoo. Okay. Okay. Point number 2 is always use a conditioner. Always use a conditioner. So why do we need to use a conditioner? Conditioner is used to neutralize the charges which are there on our hair, which is caused by the shampoo. Okay. Second point about conditioner is always use a conditioner on your hair, especially on your tips. Do not use it on your scalp. Okay. Okay. Point number 3 is do not go out with wet hair. Okay, otherwise it will attract dust, and do not comb wet hair. Okay. Okay. Point number 4 is try not to use hair dryers, ladies. Many of my patients ask me, doctor, is it okay to use hot air in the hair dryer? But I would say try not to use hair dryer. Let it dry naturally, let your hair dry naturally. But if you have to use, okay, you're in a hurry to go somewhere or you have to use hair dryer, try to use hair dryer with the minimum temperature of heat, or do not use hot air at all. Okay, so that is my advice about hair dryer. Other thing that I want to tell you is about very important about nutrition. So nutrition is something you have to take care of, because hair arises from a hair root. So the hair root has to be nourished. So have protein rich food, okay, both for vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So have protein rich food. So and also have a lot of antioxidants in your food. Seeds and nuts have antioxidants. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, nuts have antioxidants. Also try to have more of biotin in your food. Biotin is very important. Biotin is vitamin B7. It's very important for our hair roots, okay, to grow healthier. So biotin rich food you can have, or you can have biotin supplements around 3 to 5 milligram, up to 10 milligram is also okay per day. So that this will help you. Biotin is there in egg white, in sweet potatoes, in broccoli. So these have biotin in them. Also for non-vegetarians, of course, fish and chicken has biotin. So have biotin rich food. Okay. Okay. So these are few tips, and of course, ladies, another important factor that can cause hair fall, that is stress. So try to reduce your stress levels. So that itself will help in controlling your hair fall to a great extent. So that this is very important factor. It not only causes female pattern alopecia, it also causes diffuse alopecia. Okay, so try to reduce your stress levels. So these are few tips. Also, I would like to add about oiling. So some of my patients ask, doctor, should I oil my hair? How often should I oil my hair? So coming to that, see, oiling is actually good for your scalp and hair. It nourishes your hair and scalp. So you can oil overnight, that is overnight tomorrow morning if you're going to have hair wash, then the previous night you can oil your hair and scalp. And to oil, coconut oil is good, almond oil, olive oil, even castor oil is good. So you can use these to oil your hair, okay, and scalp. But if you have dandruff problem, then please do not oil your hair, because dandruff is fungal infection, and dandruff can increase when you oil your hair. So try not to oil your hair when you have dandruff problem, okay. Okay. Then other things are about hair mask at home. So whether so depending on your hair type, whether it is dry hair, frizzy hair, oily scalp, you can choose what type of hair masks you can apply at home. So I have given the preparation of various hair masks in my YouTube channel, that is Dr. Juvita Raskin is the name of my YouTube channel. So you can go through those hair masks to see what type of hair mask you can prepare at home and use for your scalp, okay. So you can do these things. So these are few tips that I've given about hair care at home, okay. Okay. Now suppose you have hair fall, then you please try to eat more nutritious food. Make sure you reduce your stress levels, and you can start taking supplements like antioxidants and biotin, okay, and start good hair care at home. But in spite of all this, if you are losing hair, then please visit your dermatologist, okay, and the dermatologist will evaluate your condition and see whether you require any treatment. So there are various treatments available nowadays, like for hair fall, like mesotherapy, PRP, low level laser therapy. There are oral medications to apply on your scalp. So there are a lot of things that we can do to restore your hair roots, okay. So this is all about causes of hair fall and few tips I have given. So now I will be answering few of the questions which our members have posted. So one of them has posted about premature graying of hair. So what is premature graying of hair? It is graying of hair when it happens below 30 years of age. It is called premature graying of hair, okay. So there are two main medical reasons for premature graying of hair. That is, one is vitamin B12 deficiency and thyroid dysfunction, either hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, okay. So first of all, please do these two blood tests, that is thyroid hormone test and vitamin B12 test, and see if that is abnormal. If that is abnormal, then in that case we can treat those problems, those concerns, and then we can prevent further graying of hair, okay. So that is one thing. But you can start on biotin tablets for 3 months and see how it goes for you. Research has shown that biotin is helpful to some extent for graying of hair. So you can try using biotin capsules anyway, okay. Okay. Then point number 2 is another comment here I can see about frizzy hair. So frizzy hair, for frizzy hair. So what is frizzy hair? Let us first know about what is frizzy hair, okay, because most of my patients come and say, doctor, I have dry hair, frizzy hair, I don't know what to do about it, how much ever oil I applied, there is no use. So first of all, try to understand what is frizzy hair. So frizziness happens when the hair lacks moisture, okay, the natural oils are lacking, so that is called frizziness, okay. So because of that, it tries to take in moisture from the surrounding air, okay, and when the weather is there, suppose there is more humidity, then the frizziness actually increases. So this is frizziness of hair, that is, it lacks moisture, okay. So what do we do to reduce frizziness? One, while having bath, do not use very hot water. It will strip off the oils from the hair. So use lukewarm water, okay, try to do that. Second, use mild shampoo. So water should not be hot, okay. Use mild shampoos, preferably SLS free shampoos, okay. Another thing you can do is lots of conditioning. So conditioner is very important for people who have frizzy hair, okay. And then you can have hair wash. Do not have very frequent hair washes. So have hair washes at least 2 or maximum 3 times in a week, okay. And please don't use any hot air for drying your hair. Actually, I would say do not use hair dryer. But if you have to use, then use anti-frizz serums. Now a lot of anti-frizz serums are available in the market. So use anti-frizz serum and then you can blow dry your hair. Or if you have to use this hair styling tools, hot hair styling tools like hair straightener, so those tools you have to use a anti-frizz serum and then you use this, and that too at a minimum temperature. Okay. So these are few things. And towel, please do not use a rough towel, always use a microfiber soft towel, so that will also help you in your frizziness. Okay. So these are few things you can do for frizzy hair. And yes, of course, oiling your scalp and hair is very important. Okay, so please more frequently oil your hair and scalp, so that will also help to retain moisture on your hair and on your scalp. Okay, and very importantly, as I've repeatedly told, nutrition. So hair frizziness is not only about hair, it's also about giving good nutrition to your to prevent it. You have to give good nutrition to your hair roots. So nutrition is very important, as I just now mentioned. High protein in your diet, use then seeds in your diet, nuts, then antioxidants. You can take antioxidant supplements, biotin supplements. And ladies, drink lot of water. Frizziness, another thing is hydrate yourself well. Eat hydrating fruits like watermelon, muskmelon. So these are important. So please concentrate on your diet also for frizziness. Okay. So if there are any other queries, ladies, you can post them here and I can answer. So, and you can keep posting after this video also. I will answer all your queries. Let me see if there are any other comments. 1 minute. Okay, anything else, ladies? Let me see if any other comments are there. 1 minute. Yes, so I'm just going through few of the comments. Can you? One second. What is it? Treatment for dandruff. Okay, that's an interesting question. So treatment, see, dandruff is mainly fungal infection. So there are many antifungals available. So most common anti-dandruff medication that we use is ketoconazole. Ketoconazole shampoo, ketoconazole lotions are available. Clinbazole is another latest antifungal that we use. So you can try using ketoconazole or clinbazole lotions, hair scalp solutions, or shampoos. And do not oil your hair when you are having dandruff. That is important. Okay. So anything else? Let me check. Yeah. So any other queries, please let me know. I would love to answer queries on hair fall. And so let me wrap it up now, ladies, by saying that take care of your hair. Hair is all about nourishing your roots, and so eat healthy, stay fit, and reduce your stress levels. And let's meet again once more with some other interesting topic. So please post me if you want me to talk about anything interesting. So I would love to do that. So have a nice day, ladies. Bye bye. Take care. Bye.